Sciorio. What do you got your eye on?
I wonder.
Well, I was going to say Lightroom CC, and I talked about that already, though. But I'm going to say my brand new, old but brand new EM1, EM5 Mark II.
Oh, that's the first one I started with, right?
No, this is the Mark II.
Oh, that's
maybe
the Mark
it is.
II.
Yeah, it's Mark II. Anyways, I've been liking it a lot. I'm selling my A7R3 and I'm moving back to Micro Four Thirds. I just really enjoy the Micro Four Thirds cameras.
I didn't know you left. You left Micro Four Thirds and went to Sony, and now you're back again.
Oh, dude! Since I left Panasonic, I switched like 6 times.
Wait, you have an A7R3 you might want to trade?
There you go.
No, I want to trade for dollars.
Exactly.
Not cryptocurrency.
Will you take Bitcoin?
No, the thing is, like, I love Panasonic, and I was like, basically, I wanted to try everything. I was very happy with Panasonic, but I'm like, let me just try. So I had a 2 5D Mark IVs, I had an A7R2 for a while. I had 3 or 4 Fujis. And then, I just like, they're all really good. Everything is really awesome. But for me, the shoe that fits my foot the best, not the best, but right now is this Olympus, and I've been really digging it.
That's cool. I remember on Olympus, that was the first mirrorless camera I had, was the OMD. What was that? The OMD Mark III?
EM1.
EM1, right? And I remember the one feature that, as a previous film shooter, that had my jaw on the ground, was the fact that you could have it show you a long exposure drawing over time. So you put your camera in a tripod, aim it at a river or whatever, and you could see the water just getting more and more blurred, and then you could stop it and say, yeah, that's it right there, right? So that was really cool. Ron, you could do that with yours, right? You're an Olympus shooter.
Yeah, I have a EM1 Mark nothing. Yeah.
Yeah, Mark nothing. Mark not.
Mark no. No Mark. And I like I say, I praise and I complain about the cameras because I do like them all. I'm not picking on anybody and all that, but I've had some problems with that. It actually, when I find one of the downsides to the mirrorless for me, and it's an older one by now, I realize it's probably gotten better, but it crashes like a computer sometimes.
Oh.
Like I had that when I was I was in, for Christ's sake, I was in Prague, once in a lifetime spot. Somebody was watching the kid. I had a moment to get my shot, and I was using that feature you were talking about right at dusk, after dusk, and it just crashed like like a computer that you don't like, fill in the blank you don't like. And I was like, oh my god.
Yeah, well,
just one of the more.
Well, you can't blame the entire system on that one crash.
No,
but,
like I say, it's a great camera. I like it, but it does have some things. Hey, my Mac crashes from pretty rarely, but it does crash. But I highly prefer it. I'm not saying it's crap. That's not the point. I'm just saying that there are some things that happen.
Yeah. There's always some things. Well, while I'm on you, man, why don't you give us your pick of the week? What's the Ron Pepper pick of the week?
Oh yeah, I got an easy one. It's an app. It's the HDR bracketing calculator app is out for iPhone or iOS. I guess it's iPhone.
And what does that give me?
So if you're out walking around in a nice scene outside and you want to bracket, you probably just use the meter and then you just set it to take 3 shots. That's what everybody does, over and under, right? But if you get into a situation like this is my thing that happens to me, you get into an interior situation where it's way wider dynamic range than you really think, you really realize until you start photographing it. 3 is not enough, and you really need to be deliberate about how you're shooting. So the calculator helps people kind of get their head around that. So It gets confusing when you I always tell people when you're starting out, use a meter, like a spot meter in your camera is all you need. Put it on a spot, walk to the darkest place, get a meter reading, walk to the brightest place, aim it out there and get a meter reading. And you can have this, say, 10 to 12 stops of difference. And these days, most of us don't think in stops. We don't sit here and calculate 30th, 60th one, 25th one. And I can do that in the whole stops, but I can't even do it if you're talking about thirds of stops and stuff. So anyway, the calculator gives you an easy way to, anybody, if you're listening, try it out, hdrsoft.com/EV, like exposure value. That's a free web version. and you plug in the amounts that you found from your camera on the bright and the dark areas, and then you say what your camera is capable of doing, and it tells you how to capture it.
Nice.
Like it tells you how to set that middle exposure. Almost every camera has you set a middle exposure, and then you choose how many over and how many under, and that gets confusing. Once you do it for a while, you can almost walk in a room and just set it by your own side after you've been doing it a while. But getting your head around it first, it takes some time. So it's free on the web version. I think it's $3 for the iOS version. If you go to hdrsoft.com/EV, at the bottom, I think there's a link to the app if you want to get it for the phone, because again, I hear that request a lot. Hey, can that be on the phone?
Yeah.
So there they go. And it's not Android yet. However, you don't have to buy it on iOS either, because it doesn't take any data. If you go to that URL I just gave on Safari or on a browser on Android, whatever that is, you can still operate it even without a data connection.
Oh, it's like a web app then. Cool.
Yeah. So the amount that gets transferred is so minuscule that it doesn't really need it. So you can still try it out. So if anybody's mystified about how to really bracket the heck out of something and get it all right to start with, because if you get it right, the processing is going to be way easier, and you're going to suddenly go, oh, that's what I've been missing.
This is what everyone's talking about.
That's why I get those ugly fake results, because I didn't cover the range. So if you do, then it makes it a lot easier. So I like that app. It's kind of cool. Like get people maybe trying it again. So
very cool. All right. Well, thank you guys both for those picks of the week, Giulio with your, and I'll link to those. We'll link to those in the description for this in the blog post show notes, and also in the YouTube video. So if you didn't catch that, just look below and you'll find it.